What up, everybody? It's your boy Pete Taylor. Welcome to Two Lanes, One Mic. Hey, we back at it again, y'all. We on site today at Right Cut Barbershop, man. Two lanes, one mic. We taking it to the street today. That's how we doing it, man. So like I said, I'm Pete Taylor. We gotta get everything straight off the top, y'all. Got my boy DJ Brent right there.
What it do, man? Like he said, we ain't in the studio today, but we in the culture. And what would culture be if we can't be in the community, man? Two lanes, one mic. This is what DJ Grant. We got some heavy hitters with us today. Pete, who we got with us today, man?
Man, when you say heavy hitters, we got them today. First off, we got my boy Dre. Dre Rudolph.
Yeah, same multi.
What multi stellar award winning Dre Rudolph. How you doing today, cuz?
I'm doing good, man. I'm chilling, man. I'm enjoying like family reunion in here. Old barbershop, man. I love it. We in this thing, but
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Hey man, Dre, before we get going, I'm gonna throw a couple questions at Dre if you don't mind, Brent.
So, Dre, I want to know, what was your first big break in videography?
uh, my first big break in videography, man, is actually begging Pastor Mike Jr. to let me shoot his music video.
Yeah.
Like literally begging.
Yeah.
So for any of y'all don't know, we actually grew up together. Me, him, Pete, Arvin, uh, since Bottomfield Elementary, me and him been rolling since being in my little red Capri Calais cutlass thing. And
All right. G-Body.
yeah. So just begging him like, hey man, I think I'm pretty good at this music video thing. He was like, okay, that's cool. And I'm like, you ain't gonna let me do yours, like.
Yeah.
So, they like he just hit me one day. It was like, all right, you got a shot. So from then on, it's been five since then. So he's like, oh, you did pretty good on that. And then we just been rolling since then. But yeah.
That was
That's
dope.
that was up, man.
Mm.
Well, Dre, so what was it like winning that first Stellar Awards? Cause it's what Arvin? Multi multi Stellar Awards.
Yeah, it was kind of surreal because we grew up watching Stellar Awards on TV. It was like our Black Grammys, gospel, and all that good stuff. So actually winning it just felt surreal. Like somebody actually, it was like, oh, y'all actually watched the music video? Okay, that's dope. So it was like people actually watching and then seeing the recognition you get from that. Um, it's like a big thank you if that makes sense. So it felt so real. I think it didn't hit me until like a couple of days after.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let me
okay.
ask you something. I got
You got it.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
so like I mean you've been in like the room with like some of the greats. I know, Kurt Franklin, Pastor Service Caesar, Marvin Sapp. And you enter the room, you know what I'm saying, with, the top gospel artists in the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Was there ever a moment when you were starstruck and who was
Of course, everybody gonna be starstruck when you first meet Kurt. Everybody gonna be starstruck when you first meet Kurt. Because if you remember when we grew up, Kurt that was stunk. So that was when he was shunned by the black church. Like,
Right.
yeah, this man made stuff. So it's like you meet the man that actually like when you growing up, it's like, oh, that's the music that we used to listen to.
Right.
So of course, like he's the guy. He's the gospel guy. Other than that, man, I think the way we grew up was at Piku, like you try not to be starstruck by anybody.
Right.
The men that was in our lives were like, no, you stand 10 toes down, whoever you stand in front of.
Yes, sir.
And you be whoever you need to be in front of. So other than Kurt, but it was like a second. It was like, oh man, that's Kurt Franklin. Like, but I'm Andre Rudolph. So yeah,
Multi.
I am who I am.
He
So it's
putting that
like
out there.
after a while, it's like, man, like besides the genius I get, I can actually watch PMJ come up with in in a moment other than that, man, it's like the way we grew up was like, hey, you stand 10 toes down. You don't be impressed by anybody because in different circumstances that could have been you, and so on and so forth. It's just, I think I'm more impressed by the grind of young people trying to come up behind. It's like these young cats now is like, man, they super creative, they super innovative. Like that's when I'm starstruck. Like, bro, like you meet if I meet a concert, I'm like, bro, you did this in your living room and now you famous. So it's like, so now it's like I'm starstruck by people, the brains in the room, the creative mindset. Like, that's dope.
That was uh DJ Brent. Who else we got over there with us today, man?
Man, listen, man. You got, and I just wanna put this out here. You know, anytime I'm in a room and I get to meet another DJ, I'm just honored. I'm always honored because I'm a jet in the game. I'm an upcoming DJ in Birmingham. You know, I'm from Selma, Alabama, so I'm really not from Birmingham. So anytime I get the opportunity to meet a DJ, I just want to give them all the utmost respect. You know, I want to give them their flowers, as the young folks say today. I want to give you all your respect, man. I want you to introduce yourself. Let the people know who you is.
Well, I'm a guy with DJ AR.
What's up?
You know, been DJing most of my life, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, you know what I'm saying? I've been heavily influenced by a lot of DJs, and you know what I'm saying? Much respect to you, you know what I'm saying? Much respect to DJ people, I call it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you still a DJ. You still a DJ.
No, no, sir.
Yeah, okay, okay.
You know, so like I said, you know, most of the influences, man. You know, and anytime I'm in the, you know, in a space with other DJs, I'm always taking notes.
Yeah.
You can always learn something. Whether you up and coming, whether you've been in it for a while. You know what I'm saying? Might be something that you do that I might, you know, take. So don't be upset if you hear me, you know what I'm saying, mix it the way you mix it, because I stole it from you.
I mean, hey, the way I see it, man, we in this thing together. And if it works, it works. And we just gonna utilize our instruments. We gonna do what we do.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about, coming up as a DJ. You know, what inspired you to get in the game?
I'll be honest with you, man. It was like the old school DJs, like Al Isaac and Curtis Bell, and, you know what I'm saying, playing the old school music that really, really got me. But when it really, 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 really hit me, I don't know if y'all remember, like downtown, there's a spot called the Five.
Yeah.
You know, teenage spot, and
Yeah.
I went down there, man. I was, you know, jumping in the freestyle contest. And at the time, it was CJ Stickman. He was, you know,
I love CJ, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to CJ Stickman.
DJ. So I went up in the booth, man, to sign up for the you know the freestyle contest, and I saw him up there just working, man. I said, you know what, I like that. I want to do that. And you know, fast forward a few years after that, man, you know what I'm saying. Every time I see him, it's motivation for me.
Yeah.
To just get better and better and better. So that was the moment that really inspired me to just want to, you know, say, okay, I want to be a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had a love for music. Whether it be singing or whether it be, you know what I'm saying, playing or whatever it may be. I always had this love for music, but
Yeah.
that was that moment where it just really, really hit me, and I said, you know what, I want to make the crowd move. I want to be that person, you know what I'm saying, making the most noise in the room. And believe it or not, I don't really like loud music all that much, man.
That's understandable. It's gotta be riding so much.
You know, so I'm not really just a huge fan of loud music. But it's crazy that, you know what I'm saying, I want to give that to other people. So for me, it was really all about creating moments and memories for people. And, you know, here I am now, you know.
So what people don't know, what people don't know about Arvin, he's very big in community too. He does a lot of stuff there. He's the founder of Yes Fest. Yes Fest was a mentoring seminar that was put on a couple years ago to help young men, young women, just show them different ways, different things that they can learn. I don't know, Arvin, tell them about that. Give them a little rundown on it, man.
So Yes Fest, you know, of course, me and some friends, of course, my boy Pete, you know, was in on that too. We came together, man, and you know, we formed what we call the Village, and it was really, really just an opportunity for us to occupy the minds of the youth with something positive. And I've always felt like, you know, if you can occupy and be an influence on them, because there's so many influences in the street. negative influences all over the place. They may be influenced by some of those, those negatives in the street. But if you can be a bigger influence on them at any moment, I think that goes a long way. So when we formed Yes Fest as our youth empowerment session, of course, and it was an opportunity for us to just occupy their minds with something positive. Um, and we put it together. We got a lot of support from the city of, especially Brainsville, man. Julio, thank you, man, Julio, for that. Um, we were gearing it towards everything, like how to tie a tie. How to, if you plan on going to college, we had a bunch of different schools come out. We had, of course, the military came out and spoke with them. Just anything that would be an influence on a kid. That's what we wanted to just put it all in one spot and occupy their minds for at least a short period of time. And like I said, if you can occupy their minds with something positive, and be a bigger influence than a negative, that goes a long way. So we do plan on doing it again, man.
Yes.
Man, it was awesome. I want to thank everybody that chipped in, everybody that donated, everybody that came out, and especially all the kids and everything. The smiles on their faces, man, that was just golden. You can't put a price tag on that. So we're looking to do it again. Youth empowerment section, man. Yes Fest, and I'm excited about it. And I know people will be excited about it because they're right there with me again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Speaking of influencers, we got my man, Big Dan. Look, up and coming influencer, one of the hosts of one of the newest one of the top podcasts. No permission needed. You know what I'm saying? Round of applause for no permission needed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big Dan. Holla at a man. Talk to him right quick.
What's going on, y'all, man? Like Pete just said, I'm Big Dan, man. One of the co-hosts, one of the hosts of No Permission Needed. I really just got to shout out the main host. She really started the whole thing, bought the idea to life, and she just asked me to be a guest. Started off as a guest, and the chemistry was just so good that we was able to keep rolling with it, and possibly make something big out of it. Matter of fact, I'll take the word possibly out of it and go make something big.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And just keep pushing. But I come from the rougher side, the darker side of everybody else that was just introduced before me. Just to show people how you can take that dark side and bring some light to it. You ain't gotta necessarily be stuck there if you don't want to be.
Bingo.
But it definitely gonna take some hard work and some dedication to get out of that particular situation and circumstances. It just all depends on the person.
Bingo, man. Well, I just want to tell all y'all on camera right now, appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all coming out. Appreciate y'all buying into this, coming in. You know what I'm saying? Hollering at me and DJ Brent. Hey, we just trying to take this thing to another level. Well, now let's hear. Now let's talk about why we in this place where we at. We in the barbershop. Well, man, so many things have been learned. So many things have been taught. I mean, just I'm gonna do this. We're gonna go around the room right quick. We're gonna start with you, AR. Just name something that you picked up from in the barbershop, whether it was when you were younger, whether when you was older.
Well, I tell you, man, like the barbershop for me was an everything place for everybody, and everything came together into like a melting pot. You see like politicians, preachers, police officers. You talking about doctors, lawyers, or just the average Joe off the street, man. For me, it was a place that you can go to and you can just learn about any and everything. We talking about the Bible. We talking about politics. We talking about sports. We talking about the birds and the bees, man. Dad would take us to the barbershop, and it was always that older cat there who was, he ain't even had to get a cut. Cat just dead before
We gonna do food.
Earl, he ain't had to get a cut. He just want to talk.
And
It was just a place to absorb any and everything in one spot. You had to listen, man. My barber would be my mentor. My barber would be my therapist. My barber would be, just a buddy, just to talk to, advisor, whatever it may be. It's an everything spot for me. I think, coming up, I one thing that I could say I learned from the barbershop and I'll never ever forget, um, was it was a conversation about how to treat a woman.
Mm.
And hearing that from the older cats, hearing, okay, okay, you gotta treat her like this, you gotta respect her this way. I took that with me.
Yeah.
I took that with me. That and a whole lot of other stuff, but I remember that moment specifically because I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a house where, I had daddy, I had mama, and no sisters. See what I'm saying? So, learning that at the barbershop, and every time I went back to that barbershop, I was like, are they gonna talk about that again? Because I started liking girls at that point, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna talk about that, say to her, you know what I'm saying? So it was just an everything place for everybody, a melting pot of information and learning. And that's what it still is to me. I know it's changed a bit since COVID, because you don't have those barbershops where just a whole bunch of people sitting around talking anymore. But I'll never forget those moments, just learning and just hearing. You know what I'm saying, from these men, man. It's everything.
Brent, what you got that you down there in Selma. Y'all had the good barbershops down there.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like barbers down there in Selma, man, they was real sharp, man. They was very precise. Not only with just their hands, their skills, but they was real precise about being in the community. Being a trendsetter. I can remember going to the barbershop with my dad and granddad, and my dad and granddad, they was big sports fans. And the particular barbershop was my uncle's barbershop down in Selma, and during football season, it was jumping. I'm talking about, like he said, it would be cats there. They ain't even coming to get no cut. They probably playing a board. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They checking on their numbers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's when I really got into college football. I really got off into, knowing the dynamics of sports just by being in the barbershop. And, to hear those cats, go back and forth, some were heated discussions and some were, discussions that brought a capitulation to the disagreement or whatever the agreement was. But you saw a generation of men that could agree to disagree. That's what you really saw. And it taught me a lot about how men were structured. Like the barbershop is a safe space for men to come and release. It's a place where you can pretty much come be a man. The barbershop smells like a man. You know what I mean? Conversations that are being had in the barbershop are, I would say, 95% based on manly things day to day. We're gonna talk about your job, or if you got a stud in the family that's scoring 3 touchdowns every game in high school football, or if you got a cat on the basketball court, he's dropping 30, you're gonna know who it is in the barbershop. Back in the day when the newspaper was hot, if a good article was in the newspaper, you can guarantee, man, it was gonna be an hour-long conversation based on that, that hot topic from the newspaper. You know what I'm saying? What have you? The shoe game conversation. Fashion, clothes, whatever a man wanted to talk about, it was expressed in the barbershop in many different ways. I think the diversity of barbershop talk expands from generation to generation to generation. And I know, like you said, after COVID, the barbershops kind of got different. People had to book appointments just to come, due to the severity of the virus when it kicked out. But at the same time, I think barbershops are reeling the culture back into its rightful place. So that's how I feel about barbershops.
Oh yeah. Big Dan.
Me personally, I picked up a lot of game, just like the other fellow stated, from the barbershop. The good, the bad, the ugly, home away from home. Even if I wasn't getting no cut, like bro said, just in there just chilling.
Yeah.
Soaking up game, seeing what the old heads talking about. Them talk about their life experiences, what to do and what not to do. Like bro said, he went to go pick up some game on how to pick up some chicks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might be in there and pick up a little sauce from that. I might go pick up a little sauce from, hey, if your money ain't right, this is what you can do to go get some money. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? The good, the bad, and the ugly about that. Hey, go get your job, son. You can't go get your job, go do some odd stuff around the neighborhood, maybe rake some leaves, cut some grass.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just try your best to stay out of trouble if they can steer you, you know what I'm saying, to the right path. And also in my area where I was going to the barber shop here when I was younger, they'll tell you the bad side. Hey, if you can't do all of those and you want to think you grown and go do something else, go ahead. But this what come with it.
Yeah.
Remember so and so you saw 2-3 weeks ago, he won't be getting his hair cut for a little while here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's gonna be getting his hair cut somewhere else for about, 6 months to a year in the same spot. So those old heads definitely they gave me a lot, and I learned from it. Some of it I didn't, just to keep it real.
Yeah.
I listened to what I wanted to listen to sometimes. I started smelling myself as I got older.
We all
You know. So they basically did give me, you know what I'm saying, the foundation for a lot of stuff in life. It just depends on how you took it and how you wanted to apply it to your own actual life. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Cool.
Drake.
First off, I got beef with all old barbers. Why y'all didn't know about razors, blackout when I was a kid? Like they got so much technology in the barbershop nowadays, and why we didn't have that then? Like airbrush, like you know how I'd be killing if we had airbrush when you was 12, 13. Like the pictures I look at now, I'm like, man, why we ain't had a
Technology came along.
like see you, but they're like, oh, we got the razor then. Shout out, but just beef, but not. But now the barbershop man is you learned a lot. Like everybody that said, the main thing I think we all could agree on is you learn how to conversate in the barbershop.
Yeah.
You learned how to talk to people. If you did come in and speak, Mr. Hunt be like, hey, lift your head up. You talk to the man. Buddy will tell you, hey man, you gotta talk to the girl this way. It taught you how to conversate. If you had beef, it taught you how to address the beef. Hey, the first time I learned what chair moving was personal experience at a barbershop in Powder. Like I learned that you move chairs up the way when you got beef with somebody. So
Yeah.
your furniture moved.
Yeah.
That's out the way. So that's even the first time. So how to address or hearing older men talk and discuss what's going on at the time. So for me, barbershop itself, growing up, where it was the man village. If you even looked at old times with Indians and the men went into their own tent by themselves, it was the man village. But it wasn't just that. Like you learned the difference when female barbershops started popping. Female barbers started popping up when the young cat came in, and then the young cat had the hot shoes, and he was like, "Man, you standing all day? No shit." It's just different conversations, different ways of life, all used to gather together in one place. And like everybody has stated, COVID has changed a little bit of that. But nowadays, like even at my barbershop, shout out to Big Rob and Tiz over there in West End. Like now it's like whatever hour you coming in, that's like you got the same people you meet in those hours, and you talking and you talk about the game, you talk about the up and coming player, how the high school team. Heck, shout out to them. They was the first people to play my mixtape when my group had a little rap group going on. Like you would walk in there and play hey, mixtape, and you had a DVD.
Yeah.
So everything you used to learn was at the barbershop. It used to be your village. And I think they are a very vital part of even when a young man's growing up is. But the main thing that barbershops meant to me growing up was how to communicate, how to talk in different ways of life.
Yeah, man, we had got a comment on Facebook. Johnny Palmer said he pretty much said that's where you learned all the mess that was going on. He said you learned who lights was off.
Information hub, man.
Yeah.
Man, JP, wow, man.
Hey, man. But I can, from what everybody just said, like Dan said, you learn consequences at the barbershop, man. You learn, like, your barber could chastise you just like your uncle can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and I know, like, shout out John Miller. When John Miller had his shop open, any kid that came in there, you get in trouble in school, John Miller gonna take you in the back. You know what I'm saying? So barbers have always been some of the biggest influences. You know what I'm saying? DJ Brett, hey, go with it, man.
So I want to ask y'all, and we don't have to really go into order. I just want to ask this question: who structured you guys first? Was it your barber or was it your father?
I'll say this, and I'm glad you asked that question. Um, I think it was a blend of both at the same time. You know, um, of course, you know what I'm saying that the first interaction was gonna be daddy, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But daddy take you to the barbershop. Daddy go step outside. You in the barbershop with the barber. You ain't gonna go left. You know what I'm saying? Because the barber gonna treat you as your own. You remember like back in the day where you see those single moms, they drop off their kids at the barbershop and come back and pick them up later.
Yeah.
They weren't worried about whether their kid was gonna act up or do anything like that because they trusted that barber. They trusted leaving their kid at that barbershop. Almost like dropping them off at school. You see what I'm saying? With teachers. So your barber was kind of a teacher, but a disciplinarian. All of that in one. So I think it was kind of both at the same time because because daddy was cool with the barber. But the barber said, hey, man, he didn't act too good. You know what I'm saying? The daddy might leave 20 minutes, come back. He cut up over here. You know what I'm saying? Daddy gonna be wondering what you say to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But daddy never really had to ask that question because he knew the barber was gonna handle it. Like,
Yeah.
he ain't finna cut up it. And and your daddy, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell your daddy, but I'm gonna get you right here, right now, and straighten you out right now. So I think it was a blend of both at the same time. Between father and barber.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on what Arvin said. Like it was a blend of both. I think the barber supported whatever your dad was, or even the single mother, he supported what the single mom was. And funny story about that, like I was acting up, had a smart mouth, or what have you.
What so you say?
Allegedly.
Right, allegedly. But my pop, he took me to the barbershop. He's like, I got a haircut for you. He gave me a fade with the skin ends. And the barber was like, he's like, how you want to do it? Because the barber always asked your dad like how you want to cut.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I want to cut. He's like, no, we're gonna skin the ends, and that was all so my dad could slap me upside my head every time I had.
Big setup.
So it was of course
We paid for it though.
Right. So basically, I think the barber would support whatever your parent would lead, especially with the single mothers and things like that. They would support in disciplinary actions on that, and that was right there in Hunts. The man, he told that man to shave my head, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But then, you know how you get out there, you be like, oh, okay, I see what you did there, Pop. Like I can feel the breeze. Oh yeah. So yeah, I think about whatever your household running was, but like Arvin said, man, they'll drop you off and leave you there, man. And you knew not to act up there. And if you were acting up there, they used to hit you with that razor. Man, he was like, oh. Yeah, man, like, I clip on it.
I just slow you down.
What up, Dan?
With me, it's just a little different. My pop was around my younger years, and then him and my mom, they had their differences or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And she took on majority of the weight on what the male, is supposed to carry in a relationship when they have a child. So, my mom used to sit at the barbershop with me. And then when I got old enough, she used to drop me off. And like you said, so me coming in and cut my mama left. If I ain't in the chair right now, I'm gonna go outside and see what's going on. Or I'm in the barbershop missing whatever, whatever. But my barber he'll help my old whenever my mama dropped me off. And he kind of took on a responsibility, not as a father, but just a male figure of, hey, like you said, a single mother dropping their child off. In a situation of an absent father, and hey, I'm a male figure. Let me try to get him what I can. You know what I'm saying? Not step in
Don't
and
talk to your mama like that.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or hey, your mama dropped you off. She don't, that don't mean start cussing and raising hell. Just chill out, fella. You know what I'm saying? Until I get it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Now back in the day with me, my uncle Japhus was like one of the first people to care. I know. I remember Uncle Japhus.
Yeah.
I think Dre, you probably remember Uncle Japhus too. Yeah, but so that was really the first somebody between my mama, Uncle Japhus, and because Uncle Japhus would cut your hair and let my mama say, "Hey, Pete being smart, Pete doing this." Oh yeah, it goes down.
Yeah.
So that's always gonna be that. Um,
At the barbershop, first place, probably dropping off and then go get a barbecue sandwich up there in Buzz. And
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, before he cut you, like, let me go over here real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Especially if you got one of those barbers, after every cut, you gotta go outside and hit them. He can use that against too. Like, wait a minute, man, you step outside and hit there. So, hey, Pete, I want to get into this thing about the barbershop as a
sir.
black men are statistically less likely to seek formal mental health support. Informal spaces like the barbershop have often become emotional outlets. Is the barbershop part therapy?
Yeah, I think the barber you trust, man. Like your barber.
Bingo.
Yeah, your barber's who you trust. I think a side story is a young friend of mine. She was dating a guy. He was changing barbers every 2 months. I was like, you can't trust him. He ain't got no. His barber. So a barber's who you trust. It's who you talk to. Man, you trusting that man with your whole look, your whole.
Yeah.
Like you can't come up with this by yourself.
Yeah.
Like he tell you, nah, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna do it like this.
Yeah.
So it's who you trust, man. It's who you can talk to, who you can vent to. Shout out to Pete's Uncle Theo. It's where you can take your nap real quick because you've been working on the truck all day.
Bingo.
It's who you can trust, and your barber is your guy. Like he's like, hey man, what everything straight? You good at home?
Right.
He's
Yeah.
who you can vent to. So it's like he's your guy. Like I think the Anglo-Saxon friends would be like he's like the bartender, but he's the bartender for your ears.
Yeah. I say, of course, there's therapy within the barbershop. Shout out my barber, $1 billion barber, John Lee.
Oh, Johnny,
Everybody plug their barber plug.
my son go there.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
We can talk about any and everything. Y'all mentioned trust. It's the person that you trust. Of course, if somebody put a razor upside your head, trust.
Right.
Okay. Put a razor upside your head. But,
Then watch Color Purple so many times.
yeah, But you know what I'm saying? We can talk about any and everything. That's the spot to just kind of open up about what's going on. As a man, you need a space like that. You need to be able to just let it out sometimes. Talk to somebody about it. That barber's that person. Me and my barber, we've been cool. We were cool before he was my barber. You know what I'm saying? I helped the guy move some furniture in his house. I came to get a cut. He got me moving furniture. You know what I'm saying? But we tight like that. That's the connection that we made. So if I got an issue going on or something going on in my life, and I sit in that chair and we start talking, that's probably where it's gonna come out. Because I know this guy.